Hello and welcome to this Gauntlet Hangout run of Itras By. I have with me some lovely, it's actually an all-European cast this time. David, Horst and Tina, which I've also all played with before, so that's also very fun. And we are playing a Norwegian game, which makes it extra fun for me. A great night. We have already started to talk a little bit about characters, but I thought we would do like a little around our figurative table to say some words about what kind of tone we want, if there's anything specific we're aiming for with the things we have talked about regarding characters, like I guess wishes before the game instead of after. Let me get some ideas to where to go with like a starting scene and that kind of stuff. Is there anyone who wants to start, or I'm gonna have to pick someone? Then I'm picking host.
So I'm playing Josip Abendroth, and he is an opera singer. Hold on, earphones. And like the general idea is that he's very beautiful and vain and cold, I think, or callous. And so maybe already as a wish, I want to have a lot of lovers, artists that he is the muse for. What else? So the reason why he is a muse is that he has sold his soul to the devil, and the devil gave him this talent that whoever he is intimate with will be able to create one exceptional piece of art, like truly innovative and truly dazzling and great. And so he's like very self-centered about this. So he's not interested in the person, but in the art that the person creates through him. I think that's the main idea.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. David, what are your thoughts about your character, and what do you feel like you want this Itras By game to be for you?
I haven't finalized the name yet, but the character is sort of quite I think a noir concept. He's a mute detective followed by his monologue. So if you think about a lot of noir literature, and I've had a bit of a noir phase at the moment, there's a lot of inner monologuing and thinking and describing the scenes around them. So there's a reason I think that character's lost their voice. I think they set a color palette around them, which is probably noir or German expressionism, in terms of everything is black and white. There's shades, there's shadow around them, even if nothing else is. They set that noir feel around them. I think there's probably a reason to uncover in the story why they're a mute. Someone's stolen the voice or they lost the voice, but I'm going to speak in the third person a lot of the time.
Perfect excuse to finally be able to speak in third person, right? And Tina?
Yeah, I'll be playing Frida, hireling. She is actually just a lonely office worker or typist who, in her spare time, brews some kind of dream potions for her clients that are very special. And yeah, specially made for each client. She usually gets some kind of a bit of hair or something from each client to brew those potions. And she also has this strange evil twin who also is into dreams, but in an evil way. She steals dreams and the contents of people's dreams. And well, I think Frida thinks she needs to do something about this. It's this kind of playing into the noir detective vibe, I think.
I'm kind of getting like I think what I'm kind of getting like a vibe of having like a little like slow moving noir, watching the characters do things kind of thing for me. Like you all have very interesting characters. I just like really like to see how they seem to have enough personal things going on that it would be interesting to just like follow them around a bit and just see what happens. And there will be like weird enough things coming out of that, I think. Like I'm imagining maybe that they go to the same bar or something like that. Maybe. Or do you have any other ideas like how they are interconnected?
I think Kors had some pretty cool ideas in the chat. Let me check them. Yeah. I think Joseph can't dream, so he visits Frida as a customer, apparently.
Or Maud, who knows?
Or Maud. Oh.
So are they in the same? Are you in a shop, or is it like where do you sell your? Where is your business?
Actually, she doesn't have a shop yet. I think that's what she would like to have one day, but right now she's just brewing her potions in her bedroom in the tiny apartment she shares with her large family.
So are these like dream potions? Are they allowed? Are they banned? Is there something illegal about them, or are they all cool?
No, I don't think they're illegal. They're pretty legal. I don't think Frida is somebody who would brew illegal potions. That's what Maud, her sister, would do. Not Frida. Frida is quite law-abiding, I believe.
Yeah, I kind of like imagine, because like Itras By is kind of dreamlike in itself, which makes maybe like the market for selling dreams tougher than it would if you sold dreams in like our world, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
There's already a lot of weird, strange things going on. But like, where does Frida sell her potions then? Like, what kind of place does she work out of when she is doing business if she doesn't have a shop?
Well, she probably takes the people up to her apartment, but I'm not sure how she acquires clients. I guess in some kind of bar, possibly, or yes, where we should probably meet.
So if we'd like to do this, we all go to a speakeasy, even though that alcohol's not banned, but we still go to a speakeasy just because it's a sort of a thing to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
that sounds cool. Cool. Yeah. So, but what was those? Yes, you so you sell. Does Joseph buy dreams from Frida or Maud?
Yeah, I think from Frida, but it like to have another connection. It could be. I know Frida and Maud. Do they look alike? I mean, they're twins.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I wouldn't be surprised if once in a while I'm really looking forward to get a great dream. But I got the wrong Frida. I got the Maud.
Yeah, that's cool. How does so yeah, Dave, you have to make your character, right?
Yeah, sorry, I've had a busier day than expected.
No,
and
no,
I've
no.
written it up.
No worries. That's
I think my character's not going to have a name. He's just going to be called a detective.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
I read something in the menagerie that the character does have a name. There was a sample character who has a name, but nobody ever hears it because there's always some kind of car driving by when it's mentioned, or some kind of sound that drowns in it.
I don't think that the monologue probably knows the name, but never talks
Oh, okay.
about the name. And it maybe hasn't got one. It's just the detective. The detective does.
I mean, do you know Blood Simple, the film? I think all the characters are just called the mayor and I don't know, they're archetypes rather than individuals.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because it's third party voice, third person voice where it talks, and I think that maybe is the view. So I'm thinking from an archetypical type of view. Notional, maybe he is this abstract noir detective. Maybe we'll discover his voice, but I just think him as a cipher with a voice describing and interacting, which hopefully should bring the surreal.
What is the detective really investigating?
I think potentially it's almost something that happens every time you think there's something that's been solved or a problem he's dealt with. Someone will come to the door of his office, and there'll be a new mystery or a new problem, and it's a potential. Or meet them in the bar. Everything is almost like a Raymond Chandler novel, unfolding in everything they do. Even going to the shops has to be set through the lens of a Raymond Chandler novel.
Cool. Yeah, I think you might have had a lot of potential clients asking you about like disappearing dreams.
Sweet. I'm going to put that in my intrigue moments.
So the detective has an office. It's nice. Another nice place to meet.
He hasn't got a home. It's just always almost seems to reset back into office. I'm sorry, I'm just reminding myself of the sections of the of the city.
I think in the folder I shared there is. Or did I even share that? Maybe I didn't.
Nope.
I did not. But I made a folder where the character keeper is. There's also like a list of the sections of the city with like a small. See, here it is. Because I also don't always remember all the names here. Let's see. In the handouts PDF there's a...
Awesome.
Yeah, I think this bar is probably in Churchill. Must be.
That would make sense.
I think the bar that you frequent is called a smog cutter. Because there is a lot of like people smoking cigars in there. Of course, which there's in a lot of bars in Churchill.
Isn't there some kind of map? There must be some kind of map of the city somewhere. I found it on Google, but it's not available anymore.
I think it sort of describes it as however you want to fit the connections of the areas of the city together. and it's very Itras By. If you found the map, you can't find it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think. And so your office. Let's see.
I'll put it in Churchill as well. I think if the bar's there,
Yeah, that's cool.
that there as well, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. There must be like a big market for PRs in Churchill. It's very en vogue to get private detective services. So, what kind of like music do they play in the Smog Cutter Horst?
I mean, I think it's probably like modern classical music, something like Stravinsky or something. So on the edge of atonal, but musical enough that people don't walk away. And on top of that, it's just hip to listen to atonal music.
Yeah, and I think there's like every like Saturday evening there's like people reading poems to the beats of like the music. Of course, this is the most like modern poems, and I think everyone is like trying. Everyone is looking very amazed about how great they are, but I think most people don't really understand what they mean. What is the crowd in the place look like, Tina? What's their like style? If you
the place is in which part of the city again?
Churchill.
Oh, it's Churchill. Well, I think it's a mixture of bohemian people in some kind of dandyish 20s clothing and these kinds of flapper dresses in loud colors, and also very loud colored suits, which is a bit unexpected.
Yeah, that's cool. I think there's definitely like a crowd of futurists here. Like they I think they're like it's not really their part of the city normally, but this place has had the good reviews in the Morning Post about their progressive poetry, and of course, if there's something progressive, the futurists can't stay away. Also, apparently, there's been they are doing research on I don't know, like I think maybe the physical property of dreams.
Oh yes, but there's this dream substance, this dream stuff that has a good price, gets a good price on the black market, and I have heard that the Machine God is a big fan of dream stuff. Which I don't quite remember who that is, but
well, we'll figure it out soon enough. It's not so difficult.
Oh, it's the enemy of the futurist.
Maybe that's why the futurists are really interested, because I mean
So apparently.
Okay, so I think I definitely got an idea for like how are you doing with your character, Dave?
Pretty much there.
Cool. I like.
Killer right hook.
You have a typewriter character. Good. What's your PI business called?
I think it's just got. In fact, I'm going to change it from the detective to the PI because it just says private investigator on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not really a name at all. It just says private investigator on the door in the hill.
Yeah, it's. Imagine the opening to so many noir films when you come in and there's a door that just says private investigator and you open it up and yeah, that's what they are. The name's almost unimportant. It's just called private investigator.
Cool. I think I have a starting scene in mind if you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a Saturday night in Churchill. There is it's in the fall and it's raining. There is like it's raining quite a bit, so I think like there is water running between the cobblestones on Churchill, and this you can see. I think you can see like this door go up, and there is smoke like pouring out of the door as a man in like a I think it's like a kind of purple pink tweed suit, like with squares. So there's like the inside of the squares are purple, and the like edges are the squares are the stripes are like pink, with like a bowler hat that walks into like this place. And there's it's a pretty. I'm imagining there is this you hear like the sound of someone reciting a poem. Horst, how do you know that this is the? How do you see like that this is the hippest place to be on a Saturday night?
I think it's the hippest place because there's this music in the background, the recital of the beat, and the dancers in the background. So there's like this Gesamtkunstwerk of different arts coming together, and that just is the hippest thing you can have.
Mm-hmm. What is the PI doing here on a Saturday night? Are they into art, or are they there on business?
It's a Friday night in a busy city. The PI's got nowhere better to be, but he knows this is the sort of place that trouble always goes down.
Yeah, and I think like as you like see the camera like pan over the PI, you see like him looking over at someone at the bar like passing a like vial of something from one hand to another, and then exchanging nods. What is where is Frida sitting, and who is she there with?
I think Frida is alone, in fact. She's sitting at the bar, but looking out. She has a little stack of neat business cards in front of her, and I guess she has a few vials of dream potions, probably inside her jacket.
Yeah, and I think you notice, like, as you sell one of them to I think it's like one of your regulars. Who is it that you're selling this dream to right now?
Well, it's pretty obvious that must be Joseph. I think it is. He comes to this place to buy dream potions pretty often, and I'm getting a bit suspicious, actually. There must be something wrong with him. But I give him his potion and don't say anything about my suspicions yet.
What dream has Joseph requested this evening? What kind of dream? What was the order?
Is that for Josep or for Frida?
It's for Joseph. You're buying a dream from Frida.
Yeah.
Tina, do you have an idea?
Let's see. I believe. Well, you're a muse, so I believe you must be trying to dream up works of art, like some kind of seeds for those artists to inspire them. And this is maybe where you take some of your ideas.
Yeah, it's like I want to walk through maybe even through a painting. Like I've requested to have to see what is behind the tree and what is behind the, I don't know, church.
Yeah, and I think you see one of your muses she's on the other side of the bar. She has like very long flowing red hair, and I don't know. I think what she does is she is like a sculpture or something like that. She makes sculptures of grimasks for the rich, because of course they don't go they won't go to see them in the Black Bay, so rather make them in expensive stone to have an idea of how such a horrid thing might look. What do you wish for Frida? Which is her name, Frida?
What Frida wishes for?
No, I'm asking Horst. What do you wish? Right. What art do you wish that Frida would make?
So the sculpture is also called Frida. That's very.
I see.
Oh, right. Yeah.
This was my confusion.
Oh, yeah. Okay. it's someone. I was modeling on this someone I know. I didn't think about your character at all. Her name is Ellie.
I think I wish for Ellie to make so I want to have a sculpture about Narcissus. Is that a name? The guy who got fall in love with his own image. And I want the sculpture to be in my liking.
Yeah, and I think you see her like smiling at you from the other side of the bar, as she sees you like getting this vial from Frida. Her smile is like very. She has like a very. She has the kind of smile that would make other people smile as well. It's like infectious kind of smile, and I think you don't hear it, but you know she's like giggling because that's what she always does. What are you doing, PI? Seeing all of this.
PI was drinking their whiskey and watching the innocent, foolish love of a giggling girl.
What do you pay with, Joseph?
Well, does Frida take money? Or does it have to be like a story or ticket for a concert?
Well, she usually takes money, but she could be open to other things. Well, one of her goals is to move out of the tiny apartment and have her own business, so she needs a bit of money. But if it's something interesting, you might be interested.
So Josip says, "Look, Frida, honey, I could introduce you to so many artists. I mean, potential clients even."
That's tempting.
There's and he looks around. There's Ellie over there. She's a famous, fabulous sculptor, and that's just the beginning.
So you're suggesting I work for exposure?
I mean, you're sitting here on your own at the bar, and there's a potential client, there's a potential friend.
All right. This time, yeah. Then why don't you introduce me? And Frida takes her grape juice that she's ordered and turns around to the crowd with you.
Yeah, and I think so. Josip has this. I think today he wears like a tiger fur coat and a boa, and even because it's Saturday night, like a small tiara. Yes, his eyes are blackened, like with what you call, is it mascara? No, probably not. What is it?
Eyeliner?
Eyeliner. Cool, I think it's called.
Right. Yeah.
And so he walks over in a very with very big gestures and in front of Ellie, and he says, "This, Ellie, is my good friend Frida. And Frida, this is Ellie. And I know you will be like fabulous friends.
Oh, Joseph, how kind of you to introduce me to your. And she I think she bites her tongue a little bit because she's probably gonna say something. I think she's like probably comes from like the Mint Knoll or something like that. Your original friends. Who is this? Who is this person, Joseph? And she's like, oh, excuse me. My name is Ellie. What's your name? What do you do? Tell me.
I'm Frida, and I give people wonderful dreams.
And I think she like claps her hands. And oh, really? If you were to sell a dream to me, what would it be?
Oh, well, I think you're probably an artist, right? So.
Oh, yes. How did you know?
You just look so, I don't know, really creative, I believe.
Yeah, and I think she has like this very like big dress. It's like this kind of it almost looks like it's from like I would imagine it being something like someone in like Westworld would be wearing, almost like it's very like big, and I think she like twirls around and you see like the skirt like going out and she's like, oh yes, oh I would. I really like your friend already, Joseph.
I would probably make you a dream about marble. Everything is marble. The whole world. How does that sound?
I think it would be interesting to see you draw a chance card on that.
All right. Chance card. Rumor mill. Gossip spreads fast. Tell a rumor about the scene in progress to the person on your left. Rumor is retold from player to player, and each time something is changed and exaggerated. By the time the gossip reaches back to you, it has come true. So it's kind of like a telephone game, but would I tell that out loud? Or is it something?
Yeah, I guess that's the only practical way of doing it.
It's not like, yeah. So we're changing things on purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a rumor about the scene in progress. Who is the person on my left? I guess that's, yeah, Horst. I believe the rumor is that Ellie is planning a new work of art that is just one large block of marble with no features, just a cube that is going to become the next big thing, and everybody's gonna want to buy it. So you now need to retell the rumor to the next player and exaggerate it.
So Joseph has heard that let me think. So the rumor is she's making a sculpture that is just this block of marble and nothing else.
Yeah, and everybody will think it's so meaningful.
So I have heard that you know, a couple of people have already seen that work in progress, and whatever they thought about, they see in the marble whatever they thought about. So
Wow.
it's changing depending on who sees it.
Not bad.
What has the PI heard?
PI heard that Hans Gustav came up with the idea of the marble block, and it was stolen from him, and that's what I need to investigate.
And that is true.
Hans Gustav?
Yep.
Cool. I'm just putting that name down. I think Ellie is just like, oh, in Marvel, that's great. I have this brilliant idea for the next piece I'm gonna make.
Oh, really? Can you already talk about it?
Well, and I think she like looks around, like the whole, she like past you, probably like, are you looking at Ellie, PI?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Ellie. Oh, the PI looks at Ellie. He knows that she's a thief, and whatever she's going to say next is just going to cement that problem.
Yeah, and I think she like she like whispers to the both of you, Frida and Joseph. I don't think I can tell it here. There's someone watching me.
What?
But it's made of marble.
Oh, you don't say. That's wow.
I think we do like a like short flashback to when Hans Gustav came into your office, PI.
Yep.
Hans Gustav has like this long, curly black hair, like going down like this in like folds, and like a black. I think he's black. Also wears like black smoking or something like that, and has a very big belly. And he's sitting in your office. What is like the how does your office look like? What does it look like?
The office is, well, there's an outer office with a typewriter that lets people in and into the PI's office. The office is a desk and a chair on each side. There's a phone, a notepad, and a bottle of scotch. And whenever time you come in, the sunlight is always pushed through in such a way that the slats in the blinds covers everyone with that sort of dark and light of sun. He'll be sitting there with a hat on, even though it's inside.
Yeah, and I think Hans Gustav is also sitting with his hat on, actually. And I guess it kind of like looks. It's like this scene looks very like monochrome because both of you are wearing black and white, and I think also he's smoking this cigar, and he's like puffing out like a ring of smoke and like saying to you, so she stole my idea, my grand idea. It was going to be like the ultimate slight to the authorities, making chaos. Like, imagine if everyone could see what they wish. Nothing would ever be the same.
The PI lit a cigarette and looked at the guy with the black hair and thought to himself, what is he talking about? It's just a block of marble. But hey, if he pays $25 a day plus expenses, I'll take his case.
And and I think Hans Gustav is like, yes, I will pay you that. And let me tell you, you don't understand rich people if you don't understand the value of them looking at a block of marble. A block of marble like this in the Mint Knoll, it would have been the most glorious of chaos. But now, in the Black Bay, imagine if the poor people could see all that they wish for. It would be horrible. They would understand and rise up against, well, I don't know if that's the chaos I want. No, it is not.
Chaos is bad for business, thought the PI. And generally, rich people always pay better than the poor.
Yeah, and I think we like cut the scene there and go back to our bar. And I think you see like Ellie like, but I can tell you, just come with me. And she like walks to like the other side, starts walking through like the other side of the bar. What do you do?
Well, I'm thinking, well, this might be money, so I'm following her. This is might turn into a job. Grabbing my glass of grape juice, as always.
Yeah, I think Josip has already lost interest and scans the room for other artists he either is intimate with or could potentially hook up with.
Cool. So you're looking for a hookup. Let's throw an action card.
Nice. Help is needed. The character ends up understanding that she needs the help of someone not currently in the scene to achieve this aim. I think after hearing about Hans Gustav, after hearing that he had the idea, he becomes much more interesting to Josip than Ellie. So Hans Gustav is not in the scene, and I think Josip leaves the bar to look for him.
Cool. You see Ellie walking like through the bar and through like a back door together with this person that handed over a vial to Joseph. What do you do, the PI?
Sorry, could you repeat that, Mikhail?
You see Ellie like leaving with Frida through like this back door of the bar. You didn't really realize that the back door was there before, but they definitely there. You see, I think you see probably Ellie like going first, and then you see Frida just about to go through. What do you do?
The PI sighs and finishes his drink in a single gulp. Frida was a nice girl, but all too easy for her to get out of her depth. This wasn't something to be trifled with. He followed them out.
Yeah, and I think outside there is like this back alley. You see like this lamp post blinking. It's and there's like a cat running over the like cobblestone road. And Ellie like looks at you and says, I dream about making something that will make people understand that the order of Itras is not something set in stone. And I think as she says that, you just like come out of the door, the PI. But first, what do you do, Frida?
Well, is that some kind of revolutionary thinking there, Ellie? What do you mean? The order? It's I'm not looking to get into any trouble, you know.
Yeah, I think as you say that, probably the PI like it comes out of the door. What do you do, the PI, when you hear this?
No one goes looking for trouble. The trouble always finds me. So the PI will walk out and light a cigarette and look inconspicuous, even though there's only 3 of them in the alley.
Yeah, and Ellie like looks at you, Frida, and says, and like looks over your shoulder, and says, "Looks like you're already in trouble. Hans Gustav's henchman has found me."
Hans Gustav? Is that what people are saying? The guy who had the idea.
What?
So is it true?
What do you mean?
Hey. Well, you turn around and pull her a bit closer. Well, people are saying that you stole your idea from Hans Gustav. I mean, you're talking about him as though you know him, so it doesn't seem that far off.
Yeah, and I think she like looks at you. It seems like almost like I think it was like it is not for a long time, but it does seem like a long time. Like it's, you see her standing in the rain, and her big eyes like looking back at you, and you see like she looks very sad in this like big dress, which is now completely wet because it's raining. and looks up at you, and because she's, I think she's probably less tall than you.
Oh, even shorter than me. Oh.
And she looks over at the PI and says, "You will never get me. I don't care if it's not my idea. It will be my idea when everyone sees it." And I think she turns around to run away. What do you do?
PI looked at Ellie. They'd face down murderers, thieves, robbers, but none of this was worse than the notional crime of plagiarism. He took out his fingers with the side of a big pistol and mouthed the word "bang," and she fell to the ground.
Well, I think this definitely, if ever one action that requires it, is an action card. You're muted. Muted.
Oh, sorry. No, and the character fails, and something unrelated also goes wrong.
So okay, the character what?
Fails.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah, and I think you hear like your finger like click as there's like no bullet in the chamber. And yeah, I think I think there's this I think you see like this she runs away also, and you see like this person standing I think actually you don't see it, but you see it, Frida. There's like this person standing behind the PI in the doorway, and you of course recognize it as Maud, like with her hands like this around the PI's head. What is the dream that the PI most cherishes?
was that to me or to?
Yeah, to you. Yeah, which dream does the PI cherish the most?
The PI dreams of singing in a grand opera hall and everyone hearing their voice.
Yeah, and I think you hear like this sad like opera solo as Maud is slowly taking the threads of your dream away from you. How does that look, Horst?
Like in the scene where Maud is taking away the dream, or in the dream itself?
Yeah, maybe actually we see it in the dream as it's disappearing.
So I think we see the opera hall completely full. The PI is standing, I think, on the side, not like center stage, but a bit to the side. And his, in the beginning, you hear this his monologue about maybe a case which is greeted with R's and O's from the people in the crowd, in the, what's it called, the people attending the opera. But then as the scene, as the dream progresses, more and more people just disappear from the opera, until at the end we see the PI screaming into an empty room.
Yeah, and I think probably you hear like the echoes of the scream. I think you also hear it, PI. How do you feel?
PI wanted to scream, but they'd forgotten how to do it, and they'd forgotten the sound of their own voice. And in the rain, they're alone. plagiarist escape from his view.
Yeah, and I think that is seen, you. I think. Well, let's see how Josip is doing, looking for Carl Gustav. Where do you expect to find him?
I mean, he must be in Churchill. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So he goes from bar to bar to look for him.
Yeah, I think you find him at. I think you find him at a place called the Sad Trombone. It's there is as you walk in there, you see like there is this. It's like this big wooden bar, pretty much. It's just a very long bar, and there's only place you can sit is like along the bar, except in the end, where there is like this small scene where there's a person singing a very sad song, and there's like this guy playing the trombone behind him, and I think you see like all the people in there, they are crying. Because the music is so sad, and I think also you see like you see Hans Gustav like in the front of the scene, like lying down on his tummy, just like crying, hulking. What do you
So still outside of the bar, Josip faces the rain so that it looks like that he's crying as well, and then walks over to Hans Gustav and touches him lightly on the shoulder.
Oh. And I think he turns around, and like his gaze meets yours, and I think you can see him like his eyes all like red, and he grabs your arm like here, and have you come to? Oh, it's not the PI. Who are you? And he like, you hear his like voice shaking.
And Josip tries to maneuver his his body in a way that the light falls favorable on his profile. Puffs out his breasts and says, "I, my friend, am Josip Abendroth, and you might have heard me, and if not, it will be your loss, because I am not only quite wild," and he opens his eyes, and they're sparkling a little bit, "but I'm also very talented. I'm a singer in the opera."
Yeah, I think he gets like on his knees and like takes your other hand and says, "My God, you're the most beautiful thing I have ever seen." And he like just like I think he's just like he just like looks up at you.
I think that is a beautiful scene to cut, to be honest. I mean, Josip will probably say, "Yes, it's true," or something. But yeah, Hans Gustav kneeling before him, and maybe you see Josip like looking a little bit around the room, how the others react to it.
Yeah, and I think I think definitely like you see everyone like looking at you, and like I think you almost can see I wonder if they're actually like smiling, still like tears streaming down their faces, of course, and you hear like this. The singer is like singing about. I don't know. I don't think he's. I'm not sure if you can. I think he's also like actually. I think he's singing a song about having a dream, and that was so good. But about like a dream about love and then losing it. That's what they sing, and I think you hear like this. But I think you see like the person who's playing the trombone is just like looks at you and like is kind of like paralyzed and like looks at you and also with his like awe on his face, and I think that's probably the scene then. Cool. I think we'll have like a small break for grabbing a drink and stuff. Let's be back at like 55.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I also always really love looking for bar names of some reason when I am doing RPG things.
Do you come up with names on the spot, or do you have like a random name generator or something?
No, I actually usually look for real bar names. There is usually like a place that fits the aesthetic. There's a lot of good bar names out there.
I'm really fond of all the pub names in London. David, you are from London?
I live in Edinburgh, but I'm in London for work for the next couple of days. I'm usually in London Monday, Tuesday, and Edinburgh the rest of the week.
Edinburgh is a very, very beautiful city, I have to say. I went to the Edinburgh Festival, I don't know, like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, we normally take a week off every year to go to the festival. It's just crazy.
It's insane. It really is. There's the French festival as well, and then there's just like people on the street doing stuff or in pubs. And
August is crazy. There's a festival that teams every week in August, which is great because the sun doesn't go down till about 11 o'clock. So we have dark winters but great summers.
I know this concept.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone who has any like scene they want right now? If not, I can definitely come up with something, but I'll offer you the opportunity.
I think the PI is on the trail of Ellie.
Yeah, I think in that case, I think so. Where because you and Ellie. Where does Ellie live, Joseph?
I think all the like a lot of the artists live in Churchill, don't they?
Yeah, I think though that actually with Ellie, like she might have an apartment here, but she is just posing. She's definitely like a rich girl. Or like has a rich family at least. Let's see if I can find a last name for them. I think actually her last name is Manson. And there's a Manson mansion. Of course, made out of marble. And I think probably this is where the first place where you might look, where she would go to hide. I imagine it being like almost I think actually like a tower. It is it has it's not very it has these like big archways on top where there's like these and I think these like almost like flower box ish, but it's just like you don't really see that. You just see like there's flowers coming over the edges, and I think like there is it's like it's in on the top of the hill, so it overlooks the whole city, and I think you see there's like this it's on the edge of like a square, and there is the gate the gate is made out of I think actually like maybe it's made out of like gold or something like that, and it is it has like these depictions of actually it's like these it's these pillars, just that they are like in gold, not in marble as the rest of the building. And there is definitely like this big golden bell where you're supposed to ring, I guess. What do you do?
I think the PI looks at the bell, decides that this crime of plagiarism has to be confronted, and rings the bell.
Yeah, and I think there is this there's some like a monkey that comes like climbing down the tower, and like comes to open or like comes to the gate and like looks up at you, and he has like this bowler hat on, and says, "You don't seem like a guest. What are you doing here?"
The PI lit a cigarette and looked at the monkey. Is that what it come to? That now he was conversing with apes? But hey, monkey's got to have a job too. So he looked at the monkey and shot him a piercing glance, and the monkey realized he was here for Ellie.
You should have seen my last job. This is much better. And he like cocks his head and says, "Ellie, huh? You're an investigator or what?"
The monkey was smart. Realized that a guy in a trench coat and a fedora was probably a private investigator. This guy was smarter than a chimpanzee.
I think the monkey like jumps up and down a little bit and like, well, maybe you should see Ellie. You seem like a sensible thought. Tell me, what has she done?
PI wondered if the monkey could be trusted, but he seemed like a decent guy. So the PI looked at him again, shot him a piercing glance. The monkey knew. This wasn't the first time that Ellie had stolen an idea, and it wouldn't be the last. But at least today there's going to be justice.
I think I want another action card, actually.
Cool. Yes, and the character succeeds and achieves more than she expected, perhaps even a bit too much.
Yeah, I think the monkey he looks up at you and says, "Oh, yes. In fact, you should probably come." And he like opens the door and like with his key that is hanging down from. Actually, I think he's wearing like a suit. And
Is it a monkey suit?
yeah, and he takes like this keychain off his belt and like locks you in and says, in fact, I think she stole an idea from me as well about starting a revolution. And he like looks up at you. I better go. Maybe she hasn't done it yet, and he like runs away out the gate, and you stand there alone in like in the courtyard. And I think there's like this. I think you see there is like this big big piece of well, actually, there's like this big thing that's standing on like some planks of wood, like it has been used to moved with the, like the wood, and it's like covered with like this big piece of like cloth or something like that. So what are you up to meanwhile, Joseph?
So I think the scene is in Hans Gustav's apartment. So my question to you is he a sculptor, or is he just somebody who has great ideas?
I think he's a writer, actually. So probably one who has great ideas. Yeah, and you see, like, I think his place, it's pretty like big, relatively speaking, at least for being on Church Hill, which this also is. And there is like this, I imagine it being like this kind of Victorian style place. There's a lot of like there's Chesterfield furniture and like big. It's very like high under the roof and like big bookshelves along all of the walls. And I think in the middle of, I think it's just like one big room that is kind of like very narrow and long. And in the end of the room is like this big like bed. And I think you see also like stacks of books lying besides it. Where is Hans Gustav?
I think both like Josip and Hans Gustav, they're on the bed, and Josip is very like big chested. He has the baritone chest to produce all these incredible sounds, and his shirt is like opened, so he see his chest hair, and Hans Gustav is lying a bit lower, and he's like curling the chest hair with his fingers. And Josip says, "Your new book, what is it about?"
I have this. I want to write about the people, the what are they called? The monkeys in the park. They are, and about their existence, I think it's about time that somebody told their story.
who is your protagonist? Is he heroic and good looking?
I think perhaps that would be too easy. I want him to be a conflicted character.
Yes.
Someone with bad choices in his past.
Oh, yes.
Maybe also working for the rich. You know, the people who are pushing them down. A sellout of sorts. What do you think about that?
And Josip just looks deep into his eyes. I don't think anything, my love. You think for me. Maybe conflicted, yes.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Will he redeem himself at the end?
Yeah, and I think he like turns over and he puts his head in his arm and he twirls his mustache, and he says, "Yes, yes, I think he must, but at what cost? What cost, Joseph?"
Oh, it will be a tremendous cost. He will lose his innocence, maybe, or he will lose his soul. But you decide, my love.
Oh, yes, yes, I will. And he looks over at the his desk, almost like a bit like guilty looking, like he you know, he's here with you, but he really wants to write.
And in order to in order to, you know, push him to work, he closes his shirt. Josip does, and he says, I'm right here, but there's work to be done."
Ah, and he like, yes, it's true. You're right. I should work while the inspiration is present, and my yes. And he gets up and like grabs this big like flowery shirt, and I think like buttons, like a few buttons, and it almost looks like a dress on him. It's way too big. And he like sits down at the desk and starts like typing at his typewriter. Oh yes, I think the monkey's name is Frank.
And Josip is tiptoeing behind him, you know, resting his hand on his gigantic belly, and, you know, just like massaging the ideas out of him, so to speak.
Yes, Frank, and he works in the Mint Knoll. Yes, for a rich family. But no more, no, he has to redeem himself. And he like excitedly like starts writing at the typewriter. Yeah, I think that's just seen. What is how does Frida live together with Maud?
No, actually, Maud disappeared. Apparently, moved out without saying anything and took all her stuff. One day, must have been a few months ago. After the scene at the bar at the Speakeasy, I think she just tries. Well, I guess Maud disappears again. And she just passes out a few more business cards and then takes the subway home.
Yeah. How does your home look?
Well, it's one of those apartment buildings in Black Bay, those poor apartment buildings, it's probably pretty high upstairs, almost the attic, but not quite. And it's she walks up a really creaky stairway to in the middle of the night. So she tries to sneak up, and the apartment is quite small. It's not actually made for, how many people are we? 5 people. Used to be 6. But she has her own room, which is quite small, and the whole apartment is a big mess. Her parents and the rest of her family are very disorganized people, which is quite annoying to her. But her own room is quite orderly. Yeah, she has the spice rack with her ingredients and some empty bottles.
Yeah. David, what in this room still tells a story about a place that has too many people?
There's a snow globe, and the snow globe is overfull of little miniature figures pushing on the edge of the snow globe.
Yeah, and I think what are you doing in your room, Frida?
Well, I think it's probably late at night, but still, she feels before she goes to bed, she needs to do something. As she spoke with Ellie, she put one of her business cards into her purse, by the way. And as she was doing this, she also took one hair from her coat, just in case. Maybe Ellie might need a potion one day. She looked rich. And that is why she opens a glass bottle, an empty bottle, and puts the hair into the bottle and considers whether to make the potion right now or to go to bed first. But she decides to make it tomorrow. But then she decides to pluck one of her own hairs out because Maud is her twin, identical twin, and puts it into another bottle.
How does that work? Like, is it what happens when you put the hair in?
Well, for now it's just a sample, but when she's brewing the potion, she puts all the ingredients in some kind of pot. I guess she has a little burner stove on there. And then she puts the hair inside, and I think she needs to focus on the hair and touch it before she drops it in, and really focus on the kind of person that she took this thing from.
Are you doing that right now?
Yeah, I guess she does make at least one potion right now because she thinks it's, yeah. Well, she can't go to sleep like this with this unresolved matter. So she makes a potion of her own hair at first for Maud. Maybe she can do something with her potion to catch Maud.
Seems like an action card.
Okay. No, but the character fails, but another positive thing happens instead, unrelated to what she was aiming for.
Yeah, I think there is someone knocking on the door.
Damn.
Breaking your concentration.
Yeah.
And I think like you see like the it's almost, I think it's like the hair like going up in flame, and you like and you smell like this smell of burnt hair, and your mother Marge like pops her head in. I think I'm imagining her as like a quite a big woman for living in such a small place.
Yes, indeed. She's not only big, she's also quite tall, surprisingly tall for a daughter who is so short.
Yeah, and she like towers into like the in the door, almost like bending down a little bit. Not because she's that tall, but this place is very small.
Yes.
And she like looks like down at you and smiles. Oh, I just wanted to come and see how you were doing. I haven't seen you in a while. And you sneaked past the living room without saying goodnight. I just...
Oh, I thought you were already asleep. I didn't want to wake you, but it's so nice of you to come. Yeah, well, actually, I was plying my wares at the speakeasy, as I do, and imagine who I met. Your daughter, Maud.
Maud.
Yeah.
What does Mard think of Maud?
I think she loves her just like her other daughter, and I think she can't think badly of her. And the things I've told her about Maud, she just can't believe those. It can't be right. This must be a mistake.
Yeah, and I think you see like there's like this conflicted look in her face. I think when you like mention her, because I mean there's like this initial every time you say her name, she gets like this. Ever since she left, she gets like this modelly pain of pain face, where you see like her being sad that Maud just is kind of disappearing. And then also like but still I think she like she bites her tongue and like looks like lovingly at you and says, well, did you look okay?
Well, and I wonder whether to tell her what she did, and then yeah, she looked fine, actually. I think she's doing well, Mother.
She nods and she says, well, I'm glad to hear it, but I was coming here to see how you were doing. Frida, you have...
Well, I've made some contacts. It's looking good. I mean, I've met some artists who need interesting dreams, and I've took some samples from them. So I think tomorrow afternoon I'm gonna be brewing some more potions. Yes.
And she like I think she doesn't she doesn't really understand like how your business works, so she gets like this very yeah that's very very good artist. Yeah.
But of course, only after I return from work.
Oh yes, of course. It's very important to have a job that pays for the bread.
Yes, of course. Yes.
And she, what job does Marge have, Horst?
Question.
Frida's mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's tall. I think she's a policewoman.
Respectable.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I think she like takes her hand and like takes some, I think, like strokes your hair back from your face and says, and like kisses you on your forehead, and yeah, PIs, damn, and says, it's always good to. I've always been so happy that you've been able to keep an honest job, Frida. Not like your sister. I know that. I know that that's not what you want, but it's important.
I understand. I'm just hoping that one day I might be doing the potions full time. It's like my dream, Like have my own business. Would be nice, wouldn't it? You could have more room in the apartment to store your stuff and not have to put everything into the bathroom. And all the cats would be gone too. And she says, as one of her 12 cats is coming from below the bed and strokes it. I know you're a bit allergic.
Yeah, she smiles and like gives you like a hug and says, "Oh well, that sounds great, Frida. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm sure I'll get a pleasant dream after being in here."
Yes. Good night, Mother.
Oh, I think that's scene.
What?
Cool. So I think perhaps it is the next Saturday and you're at the bar again. Why are you there again, the PI? And what did you discover about Ellie when you were at the house?
So Ellie's tray had gone cold. She'd taken money, passport, clothes, and a false identity, and she'd made a run for it. The PI was concerned because this wasn't just one crime. This was an entire circle of people plagiarizing ideas and stealing dreams. This was a conspiracy. Ellie was true to her form, and if one thing was true, she'd be back here again every Saturday night, as she always was. The PI was waiting.
Cool. Who are you selling a dream to tonight, Frida?
Huh.
And what was the dream you made the day after we last saw you?
Well, I made a dream for Ellie actually, but looks like she disappeared. Anyway, it's still a dream I made for her that contains. I'm not the one who plans what's in these dreams. I just know what's inside them. Somehow, it just happens that these will be the perfect dreams for these people. But I don't feel I have much of an influence. But I do know that the dream would have been of a protagonist from a rich protagonist. And some apes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So
where this came from, actually, but
I mean, it's a good idea, isn't it, Joseph?
It's a brilliant idea.
I think probably you are here with Hans Gustav, aren't you?
But you can already see, because the book is almost done. So Josip's job is also done, and you can see that they were falling out. There was some kind of there's some kind of bad blood between them. So maybe you see again Hans Gustav with the red eyes, and Josip scans the room for the next artist.
Yeah, I think I want you to draw an action card again, actually.
Let's have a look. No end. The character fails, and something unrelated also goes wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold on to that for a little bit. Where I think you are, you're probably sitting in the corner, the PI, right?
I think the PI is sitting at the bar.
Oh, so forward. And I think like through the door, of course, as you predicted, there comes Ellie. What do you do?
The PI looks at the girl who's come in, who looks like Ellie, but she's got drawn on her face a pencil moustache, so it's clearly not her. She comes and sits next to him. Ha ha! I've got away with it, thinks Ellie. And then both the PI and Ellie look at each other, and the monologue has given both of their secrets away.
Oh, this is so good. I think where do you sit when you hear this, Frida?
I guess I'm the one sitting in one of the corners and looking for Joseph, actually, because he's only introduced me to one person, and that does not match with his bill. I need some more introductions. So I'm looking out for him and haven't seen him yet.
Oh yeah, and I think you see actually what happens is like you see. I think you actually notice at this moment there's this big scream of rage from the area where the scene is, and you see Hans Gustav like looking at the person with the pencil mustache that doesn't look like Ellie at all. but that the monologue just gave away, and like takes, I think takes like I think it's like this big microphone that's standing on like this big. I'm imagining it being like a pretty like old microphone on like a stand that's standing on the stage where someone is reciting a poetry that nobody understands, and like takes it to his mouth and says, "Ah, Ellie, you have brought her to me, PI. Unbelievable!" And he takes the mic and like charges forward. What do you do, PI?
The PI looks at the charging artist coming towards him, and with his killer right hook, socks Gustav in the chin. There's no excuse for hitting a dame with a microphone.
Yeah, and I think you do just that. Like he like very dramatically gets flinged, and you see over and like hits the bar, and he like holding the microphone, and he's like on his knees again, and like looks up and says, "But I paid you for your services. How could you? I was just going to denounce her as a traitor and a plagiarist."
So, PI doffs his hat and looks at Gustav and says, "Thing is, Gustav, thinks the PI, and I know you stole the idea from her in the first place."
Dum, dum, dum. And I think at this moment, Joseph, you see there's another person coming into the room that you definitely don't want to see. Who is this? Scorn lover.
Is that for me?
Yes.
I definitely don't want to see Anna Lewandowska, who is not only a former lover, but also the greatest singer in Itras By.
Yeah, and there she comes. She has like this. I imagine it being like a very like she has this fur. I think it looks a bit like a fur coat, except it's not made out of fur. It's made out of like feathers, like small white feathers, and she has like this small hat with like netting on top, and like this cigarette holder, and she like just walks in and like does a puff, and like looks over at like I think directly into the eyes of you, Joseph. What do you do?
Well, first of all, her dress is more fabulous than mine, which is horrible. I think even the cigarette tip is a bit longer than mine, and everything about her diminishes Josip's aura. And he definitely wants to A, avoid her at all cost, and B, take her like the center of attention away from her. So he grabs the microphone out of Gustav's limp hands, jumps on the stage, and sings like some kind of rallying cry. It's an old bardic, what's it called? Like it's the beginning of a great singing match. So he sings, who here is greater than Josip Abendroth? No one. Who here has played the most heroic roles? Definitely not Anna. Who here can stand in my shadow? All of you.
Yeah, and I think like just before you do that, I think you hear like this big collective sigh, and like everyone is looking at Anna as she's walking in. And then you do this, and I think that is definitely 100% an action card.
I know. Yes, but the character succeeds, but something completely unrelated goes wrong for the character or someone she cares about.
Yeah, I think so. What? How does it look when you succeed at this?
So I think Anna looks like has a small smile on her face when she sees Josip performing, and then instead of accepting the challenge, she just bows ever so slightly, claps her hand like a bit limply, and somehow blends a little bit into the scenery instead of standing out.
Yeah, and I think like you see, yeah, I think actually Hans looking up at you, and like you see him like go down on his knees as he often does, it seems.
It does, doesn't it?
And like just start crying, and like takes his hands up and is like, oh, how can I live without you? You are the light of my life. And I think what do you do while this happens, Frida?
Well, I have definitely caught sight of Josip now. I find this all quite interesting. I continue popping grapes into my mouth as I watch with rapt attention, and but then I see that Ellie is still in the room, I guess.
Yeah, I think actually she is standing right next to you, looking down at your forearm.
Oh, that's oh, unfortunate. I thought I had hidden it with my sleeve, but it must have slipped up. That's there's a strange tattoo on there that I don't remember getting, even though I never drink any wine. I don't know how it got there. I quickly hide it in and say, "Oh, Miss Manson, I am. I think I have something for you."
And she like takes off her like fake a pen mustache. I don't know how she does that, but apparently you can just take it off. And like looks up at you. Yes, it's me. How did you know?
I think I heard someone say that it's you. Maybe the PI back there, I think.
Oh, I thought it was just my inner monologue.
Yeah, maybe that's your inner monologue. Yeah, but somehow I heard it. I wouldn't have recognized you without it.
Well, never mind that then. And like looks down at your arm again and sees your sleeve. What is that?
That is just a tattoo that I found pretty, and it doesn't mean anything.
And she like looks up at you and says, surely that's not true. I have never seen such a thing.
What?
It almost looked like it was moving.
Moving? What? I have never seen it move. Is it moving? Can I see it move?
I mean, can you? If you do you take your sleeve up again?
Yes, I think I do, but trying to hide it from her, so only I can see it.
So how are you exactly hiding it from her?
Well, well, it's on the inside of my forearm, so I'm taking my arm to my face and just looking at it like that.
Yeah, and I think you probably like see like you hear this like small like a clank against a foot against a shoe, and you see her like standing on top of this bar stool, like looking down and look, it's moving, and I think you see like there's this because it's a like a labyrinth or maze or something.
It's a maze, yeah.
And I think you see like this dot moving in the maze.
Oh my god, it's true. It's I've never seen that. Something must have happened to make it move. I quickly hide it again. That's probably just a trick of the eye.
She like shakes her head and says, no, this is not a coincidence. This is strange times in Itras By. I tell you, there will be a revolution, I'm sure of it.
You think this is part of a revolution? Oh my, that's I don't want to be part of a revolution. That's my mother is a policewoman. That's not very law abiding.
Well, and she like points down at your arm. Even your tattoo is rebelling.
Oh my dear. Well, I tried to distract her by pulling the little vial of dream potion from my jacket and shoving it into her face. This, by the way, is a dream I happened to make for you. I was inspired last night after what happened.
Yeah, and I think she just like, I mean, she completely gets distracted by that. She is easily distracted. She is like, oh, a dream for me. I didn't even, well, how did you know even that I wanted a dream?
Well, I had the feeling, I just kind of can tell with some people, with many people actually.
You are special.
Dream intuition, maybe.
You should make it a business. You should have a shop.
Thank you. That's a marvelous idea. I'm actually, yeah. Maybe if I can make enough money from selling my dreams, maybe I can. Actually, in fact, the dream, I'm afraid, is not quite free.
Yeah, and I think she's also she's already holding her hand around your like vial.
And I'm putting a hand on it too and trying to get it back, or look like I'm trying to get it back. Well, if you don't have money on you right now, we can do it another time. It's just I don't know what kind of we said dollars. Just a few hundred.
Yeah, I think this is an action card.
Okay. Yes, but only if the character can get what she wants, but only if she chooses to make a certain sacrifice. Oh no.
Yeah, and I think we'll cut over to the PI. What are you doing?
The PI strode over to Gustav and grabbed him by the cravat, looking him into the eyes with his piercing gaze. He grabbed Gustav's nose and pulled it away with the rubber mask showing the monkey underneath. Do you think he'd escape from me, monkey? He thinks to himself. I knew it was you all along. Damn Leninist apes and their conspiracies. This wasn't the first time that he crossed paths with the monkeys, and it wouldn't be the last. He laid back his fist and struck the ape across the chin.
Unbelievable. Cool. I think the what are you trying to achieve in this situation?
I think I'm playing into the fact that the apes have been revealing themselves, so I'm aiming to come out of this session with the fact there's a monkey conspiracy. They're possibly Leninist communist monkeys, and they're involved with the revolution.
Yeah, and I think you hit the monkey, and he looks at you very like afraidly, and like and there is this. I think there is. Actually, I think perhaps it is Anna who's like making on your back, like trying to get your attention. You can't hit the monkeys. They are coming for us. And I think we cut over to Frida, and Ellie is like getting her like purse, which I think actually it's like a stress suitcase, and she like opens it, and there's like this it's just full of money, and she like takes this it's like on the bar, and she takes like this small pile of it, you know, like bound up like in the movies, and she like shakes it and says, well, I'll pay you handsomely, but only if you promise not to sell it to below its price, only to the people that can afford it.
Oh. That's... Well, Frida is from Black Base, so she knows poor people, and that doesn't quite sit right with her. But she tries to bargain a little. So just the dreams about the dreams for you, or all dreams?
She like cocks her head, and she says, well, I guess if you want to sell them give them sad dreams, or dreams that are not about great achievements and big ambitions, that perhaps that's also a good enough bargain. Don't undersell the value of your dreams, my dear.
I don't think I can do this. I'm sorry. I can't sell you the dream. This is too much. I can't. No. I'm sorry. And I snatched the dream bottle away from her and put it back into my pocket, remembering that if anybody else took the dream and drank it, that would be disastrous consequences. Just saying.
Yeah, and I think you see her like taking the money back in her suitcase and like slamming it down, and like looking at you very angrily. How dare you? This was your opportunity to get out of being of your misery of living in the small space with all the clutter with your mother, and you didn't take it.
How do you know that about me?
And she just like turns around and like, how dare you, and like walks out of there.
How dare you? And Frida turns around and storms off. Too.
Cool.
Terrible.
And I think that is scene, and possibly also session actually. Cool. I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, me too.
We three.
Some dreams in a while. Well.
Cool. I think we could do like a small round of stars and wishes actually, since I'm actually doing a campaign this time. Anyone want to start?
I think I need a few seconds.
I can start with stars actually. I want to give a star to David for that grand reveal. My God, did I not expect that? What a plot twist. Yeah.
I can do stars. I've got two, which for Horse I noted down when he said that Joseph says, "If you haven't heard of me, it's your loss." And I think, bang, I know that character. That was just. And Mikael, your scene shifting and spotlight shifting is like laser sharp, and well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my star is actually for the four of us, if that is possible. I think they're like interesting characters. It has the nice, German expressionist movie vibe with rooms that are out of shape and archetypes and cramped rooms with too many cats and people. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Itras By, and so the four of us and the game, the setting and everything gets a star.
Yeah, from me too. But since I have to do something else, I'm giving my star to you, Horse, because I really love how Joseph is always losing interest in people and playing around with them. Oh well, who's the next person I haven't heard yet? And poor Hans Gustav always crying about you, I guess.
Yeah, I really like that. You're playing the mortal in Itras By, that's what you're doing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to 3 more sessions of this. This is going to be super fun. For wishes, I think I really don't wish for much. I maybe wish for me to be able to think a bit more about the fiction beforehand and not running from the airport express train. But that's not really in the game. But I really want to try to get give your characters good stuff to play with, because I really want to showcase them. That's really, yeah, that's what I'm wishing for the next sessions.
I think for me, the wish is that I now feel I know those characters' voices, but we didn't spend many, if any, scenes interacting with each other, and I think that would be kind of cool to see. But wow, what characterization! And I've had so much fun this evening.
Yeah, I'm just mirroring David. I want to see some, like, I see Josip in the PI's office, you know, either looking for the next artist to inspire, or, you know, spying on all his lovers so that they don't have anyone else beside him. And I definitely want to drink the wrong dream bottle.
Definitely. Yeah. I have the same wish, actually. Yeah, we need to interact some more. That would be fun. And
I very noted it.
I'm looking forward to finding out more about my strange tattoo with the PI, and of course, my dream potion being stolen or sold to Josip.
Oh, and Maud. Where's Maud?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she got away this time, but I guess we're going to see her again.
With the PI's dreams as well, so it's got to be a reckoning.
Yes, I have written it all down. So no, these things might happen. Especially looking forward to seeing you interacting. That's a very good point. Cool. Well, that is our session then. I very much look forward to next week.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Yeah. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
Good night.